Well, good evening, Vol families, and welcome again to session 5. It's hard to believe we're already on number 5 for this summer, but it's session 5 of the Tennessee Family Series, and we're covering the Big Four. So we are super excited that you have decided to join us tonight. We have a lot of great folks here with us tonight that you will get to hear from about the work that they do, the offices they represent, and you will have the opportunity also to ask questions of our panelists. So, how do you do that, you might ask? Well, very easy. There's a Q&A feature down at the bottom of the screen that you can utilize. That Q&A feature will let you submit questions to our panelists. So, as those questions are answered, they're going to appear in that All Questions tab. So, if there was a really good question that you really want the answer to, you'll find it right there. We do ask, as you're using the Q&A, please don't resubmit questions. We will get to your question as quickly as we can. There's a lot of you as well, so we'll get to as many as we can. But please don't resubmit those, just so that way we can try to keep it clean on our end as well. And we also ask that you make sure that you stay on our topic for this evening. We know there's always a lot of questions, but we want to make sure that we stay on with our Big Four in the offices they represent this evening. That way we can cover the great information they have, because they are very important offices to know what they do, and to know how to get a hold of. So only ask it once. Keep it with our Big Four, but ask the questions you have, because we want to answer those. So, with all of that now, panelists, welcome. Happy Thursday. Glad you're here. We want to get to know you a little bit really quickly. So, panelists, in our order that we decided backstage, I'll ask if you will tell us who you are, tell us what office that you represent, and just kind of tell us a little bit about what that office does and anything you want to share with our families to kick off the night. So, Meredith, you're batting first. So tell us about what you do on Rocky Top.
Hi, everyone. I'm Meredith. I'm with parking and transportation, and I handle all like the social media, any kind of graphics. So if you all don't follow us on social media, you definitely need to, so you can see all the awesome things that we do. But yeah, we're just here, trying to promote our efficient and sustainable transportation here at UT. So I'm super excited to talk with you all today.
Hi, everybody. My name's Julie Gillette. I work at One Stop Student Services. Hopefully, you guys are all familiar with One Stop at this point, but if you're not, my team answers questions related to undergraduate admissions, financial aid and scholarships, the registrar's office, and university bursars, so your billing and payments. So I'm excited to answer questions tonight. I do want to mention that a lot of questions asked surrounding billing and financial aid can be very account specific or student specific. So I'm going to answer general questions today, and then also provide you all a way to submit a case to us, so we can follow up with you all in the next few days if you have something specific you want us to look at a student for. So looking forward to it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Pikett. I am Assistant Director for Outreach with University Housing. We're excited to welcome you on campus to live with us for the upcoming academic year. You've probably interacted with me or my team a lot on the phones or via email or via social media as we try to answer your questions, make sure you feel prepared, know what to pack and where to go during move-in. So hopefully we can help you with more of that tonight.
Hey everybody, my name is Mary Leslie Patterson, and I am with Vol Dining, and I am here tonight to answer all of the questions you have about dining on campus and tell you about some exciting new locations that are coming this semester.
Awesome. Well, thank you, panelists. We appreciate you taking some time out of your Thursday evening to join us. And so we already have questions coming in, so let's jump in. So, Mary Leslie, going to throw it back to you for our first one. So we've had a question come in about the meal plans. And so the question specifically was, for students who have a 5-day or a 7-day meal plan, can they come and go as much as they want during operating hours? Are they limited to 3 times a day? So with that, will you just break down meal plans for us really quickly, and then talk about some of those kind of fine details about when they can go, how many times they can go, all that good stuff?
Most definitely. All right, if you are a student or have a student on a 7-day or 5-day unlimited plan, the 7-day plan is a plan that runs Monday through Sunday. And the students who have that plan can come in and out of the dining rooms 30 times a day if they want to, 7 days a week. So it's truly unlimited when they only stay in the dining rooms for their meals. If you're on a 5-day plan, that's Monday through Friday, the same rules apply. You can come in and out of the dining halls as many times as you like on the 5-day plan. The only time that changes is if you want to use your cash equivalency. What cash equivalency offers is it gives you some flexibility on where you can use your meal plan. So once you use that cash equivalency, and you'll have one per meal period, if you use that cash equivalency, you have to wait till the next meal period to go back into the dining hall for all you care to eat again. I would refer everybody to our website. There are a lot of answers on our website, or give us a call. We'd love to explain it more to you in detail.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary Leslie. Great information, especially for those of us that were famous in undergrad for visiting the dining hall a lot, maybe sometimes more than the classroom, but we won't talk about that. So we're going to move now to Lauren to talk housing, and we want to talk specifically about move-in. So tell us a little bit about what's move-in day going to look like for students here in just a couple of weeks. What can they expect? And a specific question we had is, are RAs going to be available? Will they get to meet their RA during that move-in process?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So on move-in day, hopefully families and students, you already have picked your move-in appointment time. If not, you can still do that by going back into our university housing portal to select your move-in appointment. That move-in appointment is the time that we want you to be in the unloading zone outside of your hall. Okay, some of you have a 30-minute arrival window, some of you have an hour and a half, depending on your hall and the capacity of that hall's unloading zone. Okay, so make sure you arrive on campus during your unloading time or move-in appointment. There'll be staff volunteers on site to assist you. Make sure you get unloaded quickly. There'll be carts available and lots of folks pointing and helping you to do that. It would be helpful if you have one person available who can drive your car away and park it to the designated lots we have for you after you unload. And then you will, as students, stay with your belongings. Go into the building, stop at the front desk or designated check-in area to get checked in. Our staff will activate your vol card so that you then have access to your residence hall. They'll give out any keys you may need. Some of our buildings still need keys for the bedrooms or the entry doors. They'll have you probably sign in and just make sure that you have everything you need. You go up, settle into your room as much as you would like. The other family or friends are helping that can come back and join you from where they parked the car. You're welcome to stay, go shopping, come back later, any of that. The key thing to remember is we only want you to go through that large unloading zone process just that one time. That's for your one initial big unload. If you're going shopping later, please park at that designated parking spot when you come back and walk your items up. Allow that unloading zone space to be available for students who are just moving in for the first time. At move-in, checking you in and all around the building will be your RA staff. You may not see your specific RA at move-in, but yes, even those of you who are signed up for early arrival appointments, your RAs will already be here, don't worry. They actually start moving in this weekend to go through their training, so they'll be here and ready for you, even if you have an early move-in appointment. So don't worry, you'll meet them and some of the staff. Also, within the first couple of days after moving in, your RA will host a floor meeting for you to get to know you, explain any rules or policies about housing, and answer any questions you have as you get settled in. And I think someone asked about a vehicle, if they could bring more than one vehicle to unload. That's fine. Ideally, if you can put everything into one, we would love that the best. But if you can't make it, if you're a student with a permit to park on campus and you're bringing that vehicle and maybe you have family in another, we understand. So try to please get in the unloading zone together. That's just going to make your process a little smoother.
Awesome, Lauren. All very helpful information. We've had a lot of questions come in, so just want to reiterate here for you again one more time. If they have an early move-in process, everything's going to be the exact same as you just said, right?
Oh yeah, we'll have volunteers, some professional movers, a lot of structure for all of those move-in appointments.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. Personally, very much looking forward to my annual golf carting of our families when they get here to Rocky Top. So
oh yeah, they'll be looking for you.
Be on the lookout for me. I'll offer you a golf cart ride. So moving now to Julie. So want to go ahead. A question we always get, one that's always on our families' minds, is accessing student information. So can you just break that down a little bit? You know, what can they see? What process do they need to go through to see? And what are some of those guardrails and why they may not be able to see some of that information right off the bat when their student enrolls.
Absolutely. And hopefully those who have joined us today have heard this a couple of times, but it never hurts to reiterate it because it is so important. So students' records are protected by federal law. FERPA, it's the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Similar to HIPAA with medical, we can only share general information about students specifically related to courses, grades, and financial aid. And unless they authorize somebody. So if students want to handle things on their own, I think that's great. They're not required to add any authorized users. But if you think that you may need to step in at some point and ask a question about why there's a charge on the bill, or where's a missing scholarship, or what's their GPA related to a scholarship that they need to keep, or anything like that, then you need to have a conversation with your student about adding you as an authorized user. Both of these authorizations, the academic and the financial, are located in the student's MyUTK account. The financial one is good for 10 years. The academic one is renewing yearly. Specifically for financial, once the student adds you as an authorized user, you get sent an email and you now have a link to your own login portal to view any charges, make payments, kind of view the bill. 1098T, so that tax form that will come out late January, that would also be in there if you need that for tax purposes. So it's a really great resource, your own portal where you can log in and look at charges and that sort of thing. It's also, when you call my office, what we ask you to verify, we'll ask you to verify your email address so we know that your student has authorized you to talk with us. Same thing if you were to contact us online with your email, we're going to verify before we give any account specific information to you. So just have a conversation with your student about what are their expectations, what are your expectations when it comes to academics and financial, and then make that decision together.
Awesome. Thanks, Julie. All great information, especially this time of year as we are getting ready to start a semester. Super important to be having those conversations now versus later down the road. So I appreciate you sharing all that information, but also that advice there as well. Meredith, want to jump over to you now for your expertise on alternative modes of transportation. So, we recognize we take Rocky Top real seriously hill, and there's some hills. It's a little bit of an incline across campus, but we know a lot of people enjoy using things like our bus service, bicycles, scooters. So can you just kind of break down a little bit of the options of what we provide, what students can bring, and any important details they should know about this?
Absolutely. So at Parking and Transportation, our slogan is walk, bike, ride, because that's our most popular means of transportation here at UT. So walking, you'll see hills everywhere. You'll see people walking to class. As a recent graduate, I just put my headphones on and walked everywhere. And so you'll see a lot of that. We also have our T bus system, which is very popular. It's sustainable and it's efficient. So we have T buses. Whenever you come this fall, you will see them driving everywhere. They're the big orange buses. And so they just drive around campus. So if you need to go to a dining hall, or you want to go to your friend's dorm, or whatever you want, you can just take the T bus and not even have to worry about walking. We also have an app that allows you to track T buses, kind of see route times, anything like that, so that you can stay the most informed and plan your trip accordingly. And then we also have biking, which is very popular. We've got rental bikes. So you may have them in your city. It's Bird and Lime. So you'll see those scattered around campus. And so that's a great short-term rental. If maybe I'm running late and I just, really need to get on an e-scooter, I can just scan it, pay super quickly, and then get to my destination. You can also bring your own bike. So if you've got a bike at home, you don't even have to worry about anything. Just bring it, and then you'll register it through us with a bike permit, and that is free. So if you bring your own bike from home, it's just completely free. And then once you've got it registered through us, you're good to go. We just recommend getting like a bike lock or a U-lock or something just to make sure that it's secure. And then if you don't have a bike and don't want to buy one, T-Rex, which is our rec center, has bike rental. rentals. So you can rent a bike for only $50 per semester. And so I always tell people, if you want to do that, make sure you do it as soon as you get here, just because we do have a limited quantity. And so then once you rent the bike from T-Rex, you can get that free bike permit, and then get a bike lock, and then you're good to go. So I definitely recommend. My personal favorite means of transportation is the T-bus and biking. But if you're looking to travel off campus, we also have a partnership with the CAT bus system. So it's Knoxville Area Transit, and it allows students to ride all around Knoxville completely for free. So if you need to go get a haircut or go to the doctor or whatever you need to do, you can ride on the CAT bus for free, and it's unlimited free ridership. So those are my suggestions: is the CAT bus, the T-bus, and then biking.
Awesome. Thanks, Meredith. All great information, great ways to get around campus, but even the city of Knoxville with the proximity we have, and the city being very bike friendly, very, bus friendly. So all great information. I appreciate you sharing about that. Lauren, my friend, want to go back to you about residence halls. And so kind of a two-parter here, and it all has to do with mailing and shipping. So as we're thinking about move-in, can folks go ahead and start sending things for their residence hall to UT? And if so, what do they need to know about that? But then also during the semester, we know students love care packages. So if they have a student living on campus that they want to send something to their residence hall, what does that look like?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. Yeah. We're almost to that time where I feel like campus mail services might be ready for you guys. Yeah. So I would say definitely if you have things in your cart, we hope that things don't land on campus a little any more than like 7 to 10 days before you do. But we know that's tricky. So try your best, but you certainly can start shopping for larger items that you can't fit in the car with you. If you need to do that, all of the mailing addresses for the residence halls and how to format that are best found on our move-in information page. I know they've shared it in the chat a little bit, but a shortcut to that is really just housing.utk.edu. And there's a big button there in the middle of the page because we know that's what you're looking for that says move in. Scroll down on that page, you'll see the way to format the mailing addresses and some tips about what to expect. As I said, you can pre-ship items that you can't bring with you if you're flying or driving. And those will be delivered to mail services centrally here on Knoxville's campus. And then those will be distributed out to our residence halls right before the early move-in. So like 8th and 9th, they start bringing big shipments to the halls and all the staff are just like, but ready to receive those and get those ready for you to pick up during the move-in days. Best case scenario, you've timed it perfectly and your item is exactly there and the mailroom's open exactly when you arrive. But sometimes that might not happen. Your mail may be on its way to you. You may get it the next day when you just arrive. So make sure you pack and bring all those essential items with you, knowing that those delivered items during move-in are among many others, but they will get to you at your hall. And your hall staff at check-in will provide you instructions on the best way to pick those up. After move-in, during the year, that's quite similar. All of that shipping information will remain online for your parents and families to reference. Packages will always be all centrally delivered to mail services on campus and then distributed back out to the hall. So this means just prepare for the possibility that it's not going to quite be as fast as your 1 or 2 day shipping that you might have had at home, because it is centrally received and then put back out on campus. So just remember, it says 1 or 2 day and it gets you on to 3 days instead. That is possible. As a residence hall student, you'll receive a mailbox combination and your own mailbox information at move-in for your specific hall. Other packages will be received and stuck in. It's dropped off in package lockers on campus, and you'll receive an email letting you know where your package is and how to pick it up from those package lockers on campus. So there's a variety of different ways you could get mails, letters, and packages during your time with us. If you're doing maybe a food service delivery or flowers or some kind of fun thing like that, there is a designated rack for those sort of perishable or quick delivery items in each of your residence hall lobbies. Okay, we do not allow delivery folks to go up to your actual room. So there's a centralized area on the ground floor of each residence hall lobby where those vendors can drop off those items.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. Great information as well. We'll also plug for our families that have gotten a hold of our family guide, that you've gotten to see us over the summer, you see us in the fall. We have all that information in that family guide too. So another great place to reference back as well for everything Lauren just said. So thank you so much about sharing that. Mary Leslie, want to jump back to you as we're thinking all things move in. So we've had a lot of questions come in about, if a student has a meal plan, when is it going to start after they move in? What does that look like? And then in general, also for dining, is what all dining options are going to be available during the move-in period? We may have lost Mary Leslie there for a moment. So we're going to time out that question. We're going to put it in the deck. We're going to come back to it. And Julie, I really meant to come to you for this one. So, Julie, we've had several questions come in about payment plans. So, will you just break down what does that look like? What's the process? All the things folks should know about payment plans when it comes to tuition.
Great. Thanks for asking that, Todd. It is an option for students semester to semester on a case-by-case basis if you need it. So as a reminder, payment is due for the fall semester on August 8th. So it's coming up pretty quick. I keep saying, oh, mid-July, we'll, do this and that. And I'm like, mid-July is almost come and gone. So we're getting closer and closer. But August 8th is the due date. So 100% of your bill is due on that date, or you can do a deferred payment plan. What a deferred payment plan does is it divides the bill into 3 installments, 50% of the remaining balance, so charges minus any financial aid, the remaining balance, it's 50% upon enrollment. So if you enroll on the 6th, you will make that 50% payment on the 6th. It has to be done by the 8th. So you make 50% payment up front and then 25% payments that are due September 30th and October 30th. So that's an option for students to sign up in MyUTK, or authorized users can also do that in their authorized user portal that we already talked about. So that's an option. It does cost $30 to enroll in the plan. That's just added to the bill and factored into the payment plan as well. So it's a really great option if you want to spread those payments out a little bit more, or for maybe you have an external scholarship that's coming in, but it's going to be way past August 8th because it's just not going to get here in time. That could be a good option. Or maybe you requested a private loan and you requested it too late. And so that's another good option. So you don't have to pay as much out of pocket to meet the requirement for the 8th. You just have to make the 50% payment and then let the other financial aid or whatever come in later. So great option, signing up through it in your MyUTK account or through an authorized user portal.
Awesome. Thanks, Julie. Don't go too far because you said the magic word to go to another question I had. So you mentioned external scholarships. So kind of a quick two-parter. The process for external scholarships, if someone's been awarded something from a civic club or a church group, whatever that might be, what does that look like? And then for those external scholarships, can they go to something other than tuition, or just kind of breaking down if scholarships can go to anything outside of tuition, what that might look like?
Absolutely. So external scholarships, hopefully you already have those en route to us, or we've already received them, hopefully. It's kind of a two-part is how I always explain it. And Todd, stop me if I'm going into too much detail here. But scholarships is a two-parter. So the check is sent to the bursar's office, obviously to deposit. And then we send notification to our scholarships department so it can be added to your financial aid package, just like your Hope Scholarship or your student loan or whatnot. You will see an external scholarship listed on there. So it's a two-part process, which takes longer than you just handing us a personal check to pay the tuition, right? Because that doesn't have to go to our scholarship department. So external scholarships are automatically split between fall and spring if they're $500 or more. That usually catches somebody off guard for the fall semester. So I just want to mention that if you send $1,000 scholarship, you're going to get 500 in the fall, 500 in the spring, unless your donor specifically designates it as a fall only scholarship. That could be with like the letter that it comes with, if it has one, or it could be even written on the check where it says like fall only or something like that. So just don't, if you're planning your budget for making payment by August 8th, just keep that in mind that a scholarship will be 50% for the fall term. Since those do take a little bit longer, if you have submitted it and you still don't see it on your MyUTK account or applied to your bill, but it's been maybe a couple weeks since you sent it, maybe reach out to us. Again, you can call us, you can submit a case, just let us double check and make sure that everything is okay. Processing just takes time, but we want to make sure everything is good to go by August 8th. The second part of Todd's question about can it apply to things other than tuition, all financial aid can be applied to any educational expense. So we consider educational expenses your housing, your dining, your personal expenses, your transportation to and from home, like all of that is considered educational expenses. So we apply any financial aid, including external scholarships, to whatever your bill is at UT. If you're living on campus, you have a housing bill on there. If you have a meal plan on there. So all of your financial aid applies to just the total bill, not things specifically. If you happen to move off campus as an upperclassman and you have more financial aid than what your bill has, we will again apply your financial aid to your bill, and then we'll send you a refund at the start of the term. So you can use that for your housing, your off-campus dining, your personal expenses, all of those things. So you can use any financial aid, including external scholarships, to any educational expense. We're just always going to pay the university first, and then anything beyond that gets sent to you.
Awesome. All great information, all great details. Thank you so much for all the in-depth information there because it's super important. Mary Leslie, want to jump to you with the next question. And so talking all things move-in and meal plans. So a two-parter question for you as well. So thinking about move-in week, what dining options are going to be available while students are moving in that period, kind of from then till classes start? And then when will their meal plans go into effect after they move in?
Okay. Thank you, Todd. Dining Dollars will go live on August 10th, and meal plan meals will start on August 13th. So when you start moving in August 10th, there will be locations open on campus. I encourage you to go to the website. It's updated daily. It will show you which locations are open. You'll be able to use your dining dollars and your flex plan dollars if you have the flex plan at that time. On the 13th, the dining halls will open, and at that time, your meal plan will go live, and you can start using your meal plan in the dining halls across campus, as well as the other locations on campus.
Awesome. Good information. Thank you, Mary Leslie. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Meredith, want to turn it back over to you because we've had a few questions come out about shuttle service to the airport. And so can you kind of tell us a little bit about what this looks like here on Rocky Top?
Definitely. So we have what's called the Holiday Airport Shuttle. It runs on all major holiday breaks. And so it leaves the day after classes let out. So, Thanksgiving break, for example, classes end on, I believe it's that Tuesday. And so then the Holiday Airport Shuttle would leave on the Wednesday. And so it just goes directly from UT to Tyson McGee Airport. And your student is able to get on their flight from there. We have 2 departure times from UT. So, if your student has a morning flight they need to catch, they can take the morning shuttle, or if they have an afternoon flight, they can take the afternoon shuttle. And then it returns the day before classes begin again. So your student will be here on time, ready to go to class. And like I said, this runs on all major holiday breaks. We also have a shuttle to West Tennessee. So we've got a lot of students from, Nashville area, and our shuttle to West Tennessee is run through the Dean of Students and the Center for Basic Needs. And it also runs on holiday breaks. And that one is only $50. It's $50 round trip, and it has 3 fixed stops in Jackson, Memphis, and Nashville. So if you're from that area, you can meet your student at those stops. And then you've got them home for the holidays. So we've got those 2 programs that are really great great for getting your student back home. But let's say your student, wants to fly out somewhere and it's not a holiday break. If it's a random weekend, they want to go home, then we have a partnership coming up with like a rideshare company. So it would allow students to have discounts towards rideshare. And so they could take that and use our partnership to get there at a more cost efficient method.
Awesome. Thanks, Meredith. Both great programs, great information for our families to have, and ones they can go ahead and be planning for. So I appreciate you sharing more about that. Mary Leslie, want to jump back to you. So we've had some questions come in about meal plans again about, say a student starts with a certain meal plan and wants to change mid-semester. They want to change meal plans in between semesters. Kind of just give us the details, what they can do, can't do, what that process looks like, all that good stuff.
Okay. Once you sign up for a meal plan, you've signed a contract, and your meal plan, you've signed a contract for 2 semesters of a meal plan. Yes, you can change your meal plan. You have up to 28 days after the first day of class to change your meal plan, and that specific date is September 14th. If you've chosen a meal plan, let's say you've chosen a 50 block plan, and you're on campus and you're like, man, I'm eating so much, I need a larger plan. What you can do is you can go into your MyUTK account and you can choose a larger plan. And then otherwise, if you're an upperclassman living on campus and you want to switch away from a 7-day plan, you can do that also. But you need to do it within those first 28 days. If you're a freshman living on campus, it's mandatory that you either have a 7-day unlimited plan or a 5-day unlimited plan. A lot of students choose to go home on the weekend, or they have jobs on the weekend, or whatever it might be. And that's why the 5-day unlimited plan came about. That's how it came about. But if you're a freshman living on campus in housing, you have to have one of those 2 plans, and you cannot switch. You can switch from one to the other, but you can't choose from any of the other plans. And like I said, your meal plan contract is for 2 semesters. You can switch between semesters. So between fall semester and spring semester, you can change your plan also. We really want you to have the plan that best fits your need. So make sure that you look at the plans, look at the options. And then the other thing that I would stress is use your plan to the maximum. So if you're not going in the dining room for a meal and you're going to, let's say you're going to the Big Orange Grill on campus, and where we accept your cash equivalency, use your cash equivalency. So that will save you money, and then add flexibility to the meal plan that you have.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary Leslie. I appreciate that information. Really important to have and know, especially as they're starting off college. The diet changes a little bit. So all good things to know. Meredith, want to go back to you because you mentioned scooters earlier. And so you have piqued some interest of some folks who are interested in scooters for their students. So just kind of want to pick your brain on, do you recommend students bring their own electric scooter? Do you recommend they just rent one of the Bird or the Lime scooters you mentioned? And what are some of those factors to consider as they're, thinking about potentially using an electric scooter as their means of transportation on campus?
Absolutely. So I personally recommend using the Bird and Lime programs just because the scooters are everywhere on campus. So no matter where you are, you can just pick up a scooter or even an e-bike and do that short-term rental. So it's better for like kind of spur of the moment. We've had like some actually at Vol 103, I was talking to a family and they found some electric scooter that folds up and it's like gets super tiny. So then, if the student needs to, hop on the bus, they don't have to, haul that giant scooter. So, from my understanding, there are some kind of collapsible scooters that are really nice for students when walking around or traveling. But personally, I just prefer the Bird or Lime just because it's, easy to do. You literally just scan it and then pay and you're good to go. So that's what I recommend. And then if you want to like bring a bike, you are welcome to do that. And all of our buses and the CAT buses are like compatible with that. So, if let's say you wanted to bring a bike and then you left your bike on a bike rack and walked somewhere and then, you needed to get back to your dorm quickly and there was an e-bike, you can take that e-bike, if that makes sense.
Yes, great information, Meredith. Thank you so much for sharing about that. big scooter guy myself, so highly, highly recommend it. Always a great option. So, wanting to move in now. Sorry, going through our questions are asking a lot of great questions. Julie, want to go back to you because we started having some other questions come in about 529 plans. Always a popular question, always one we like to try to address. So, can you just kind of give us the quick and skinny on the 529 plans, what families need to know, what they need to be doing to use those 529 accounts?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to say this first, and I'm probably going to say it 5 other times while I talk. If you haven't already requested the 529 payment, please do so as soon as possible. We can't control processing times from your financial institution, and sometimes it can take them 1 to 2 weeks to cut a check, and then you have to wait for it to get to you. It's never a fun conversation on August 8th to have with a parent who said that, a $10,000 check's in the mail, but I don't have it. So please, if you haven't already, go ahead and request that and make sure that you're working with your financial institution to get it to us as quick as possible. The good news is a lot of 529s send electronic funds to us. So hopefully that will be the case. But if not, yours might be a check. You just need to tell them the amount that you want them to send to us, and then provide them the bursar address, which I can drop that in the chat in just a minute. And then make sure that they put your student's ID number on it, especially if your student has a common name. Make sure that they get that sent to us. Again, 529s can be used up to any educational expense. So keep in mind those educational expenses that I talked about, whether you live on campus or off campus in later years, your housing, your dining, your personal expenses, your traveling to and from home. All of that is considered educational and is factored into our budget, which is published online. So we get that question a lot of like, what can I ask for from my 529? And so that's always published on our website of what the budget is for those things. So you really just need to reach out to your 529, tell them how much you want and where to send it, and do that sooner rather than later.
Awesome. Great advice. Thank you, Julie. Really important to know. And always one of those things that's great for them to reach out to your office about, just because those are so many fine details for the student, for the family, the financial institution. So one of those, highly recommend reach out to your office so you can get that specific information.
Absolutely.
Lauren, want to move back to you. So a question we get starting usually this time of year and then moving in a little bit is about, hey, my student made a friend, or they want to move rooms for whatever the reason might be, either right before the semester starts or not long after the semester starts. So if a student is wanting to switch rooms, tell us what that would look like for a student.
Yeah, great question. At this time, in preparation for move-in, the modify process that was open earlier this summer is not open anymore. However, if you're in touch with other students and you're interested in swapping rooms before move-in, you have a friend maybe on this floor over in Hess, and they're over here in Hess a little far up, or maybe they're over in Poplar. What you can do is communicate with one of your other suite mates or roommates. Say, hey, my buddy lives over here. Would you mind swapping? If they say yes, cool. You have the ability, remember, to message them in the housing portal or send them an email to their Tennessee email. Once they agree, go ahead and send that message to us. Email us to housing@utk.edu and put in their room swap request. CC or copy their Tennessee email to the folks that are moving, and then list that out very clearly for us, who is moving where. That, like, Lauren is moving from Reese 234 to Poplar 152. And Mary Leslie is going to move from Popular to Reese. So we're just swapping, right? It's like, have fun, Reese, bye. Right, we're swapping. Because we as Housing Trust that you've already communicated with each other, and then you're copying their Tennessee email just to verify that like everybody knows. And then we'll do that swap for you on our end and let you know when it's completed. That's for pre-move-in swaps only. Once you arrive on campus, we will have a room change request process that will open in the university housing portal for you. That may be you find out at the last minute someone's coming or a space is opening, or you just visited your friend in their hall and you're like, oh, I'd like to move this hall, any room. It seems pretty cool. On the first day of classes, that will open for you. You go into the portal, fill out that request, and then as soon as we have space at any point in the semester will notify you and offer it to you. You can say yes or no in case you change your mind, but go ahead and put that request in for a person or a place. You don't have to be that specific, whatever you're looking for, and then we'll reach out to you when we have an option. So 2 different ways to swap rooms throughout the semester or the year.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. Great information. Not a hard process at all. Just important to know how it works. So thanks for sharing about that. Good details to know. Mary Leslie, want to go back to you. Something we've talked a little bit about tonight is cash equivalency. So can you break down a little bit more about what is cash equivalency, what that means, and then how that differs from dining dollars?
Yes, I can. Okay, what cash equivalency is, like I said earlier, it gives you flexibility to use your meal plan and other dining locations across campus. And for example, let's say it's lunch on a Tuesday, and you're in a hurry to get to class, you don't have time to go to the dining hall, you've got that dining hall meal swipe that you could use in the dining hall unlimited times, but you think, oh, I'm going to run by the pod market because I've got a meeting, I've got a class, and I'm going to get a grab and go item. So what that'll give you the opportunity to do is use that meal swipe to get a grab and go item, which would be like a sandwich or a hot meal or whatever it might be at the pod market. You can also use that same cash equivalency at different locations across campus. So at the retail outlets, and what I mean by a retail outlet would be like the Big Orange Grill, or Orange Acres, or over at Chick-fil-A. So it gives you flexibility, and that's what cash equivalency is. Now, what dining dollars are, dining dollars come with your meal plan, and dining dollars spend just like a debit or credit card. Well, a debit card. But it's just like cash, but we don't accept cash on campus, so I really didn't want to say cash. But it spends just like regular money. So dining dollars, you would be able to buy anything at any of our dining locations across campus with your dining dollars. You can add more to dining dollars throughout the semester, and we run a promotion during the semester where if you add dining dollars, we give you bonus money. So we'll give you additional dining dollars on top of it. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to run one at the 1st of August, and then we'll run another promotion probably 2 months into the semester. So we encourage everyone to follow us on social media. Follow us, if it's Instagram or Facebook, we advertise there. And you'll be able to see, what the promotions are when they're coming. And it's a really good way to get additional dining dollars added to your account.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary Leslie. All great information, a good breakdown to help understand what the difference is between those two programs, those two items. So thank you so much. Meredith, want to jump to you. So we have a lot of families here, and we know that they are excited to come see their students at some point during the year. So when it comes to when families are traveling into Knoxville, what should they know about parking and transportation, where to park the car, how they can get around, all that good stuff to make a memorable weekend on Rocky Top?
Definitely. So we have tons of visitor hourly paid parking all over campus. So if you want to get a visitor parking spot close to your student's dorm, or let's say, you're grabbing lunch together and you want to do it near that dining hall, you can do that. We have an interactive map on our website that's very detailed and gives you all that information. And so whenever a parent wants to park at a visitor spot, they're able to pay hourly, for however long they intend to stay. And so it's super easy. We've got signage that indicates the different spots. So to, remove any confusion, it's very clear. But yeah, you just scan it and then you can pay over the phone or pay like through the software that it opens up as.
Awesome. Thanks, Meredith. I appreciate the information about that. And good to know for our families when they come join us on Rocky Top as well. So let's move now to, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get through all of our questions here. And so, Julie, I know we've had a few questions come in about this. You've been answering in the chat, but since we've gotten so many, definitely want to address it. Folks who might be teachers or state of Tennessee employees who are utilizing some of those tuition benefits that come with their work. What should they know, kind of any updates you have in this moment about processing those things they may need to submit information such as that?
Absolutely. It's a great benefit to dependents of Tennessee public school teachers, Tennessee state employees, TBR employees, children, University of Tennessee system, or if you work for even a private company that offers some sort of benefit to your dependent, make sure you're working with them to get whatever is needed completed. But specifically for university employees and state employees, teachers in the state of Tennessee. There's a form that you need to fill out. You have to fill it out as well as somebody at your HR or central office or whoever can verify your status as an employee. And then that needs to be submitted to us every semester, except for UT employees, but every semester for teachers, state of Tennessee employees, TBR employees, that sort of thing. You can submit it to us through a case, which is an option to do that is on our website. And I can also drop the link in the chat in just a second. We ask that we have those by August 1st. So we can have adequate time to process and get that discount on your account by the 8th when payment is due. Some quirks about the waiver is it's not financial aid. It's a payment from the state on your behalf. So it doesn't show up as like a scholarship or as anything like financial aid. It shows up as a payment on your billing statement. It also makes payment plans look a little weird, right? So I mentioned earlier, a payment plan is charges minus financial aid, and then the remaining balance is what gets divided into that 50, 25, 25% payment. That 50% payment, that waiver counts as a payment towards that 50%. So sometimes people, their payment plans, you're like, that's not 50% of the balance. It's because your waiver's counting as a check payment from the state, if that makes any sense. We can explain it again after tomorrow if you have any questions, but just know that if you have a fee waiver, sometimes payment plans can look a little different. But please get it to us by submitting it through a case, which I'll drop in the chat in just a second, by August 1st, so we can have that processed. For public school teachers and Tennessee State employees, it's 25% off of tuition only, which I think is about $1,400 this semester. So don't miss out.
Awesome. Thanks, Julie. Great information to have for many of the folks who are able to utilize those programs. So thank you so much. Well, panelists, our Thursday together is starting to come to an end. So want to give the opportunity for just kind of some closing thoughts. So two kind of last questions we have for you. One, what is the best way for folks to get in contact with your office if they have more questions or their student has questions? And then two, what's any closing advice, knowledge that you want to give to our families that you may not have covered tonight or that you just want to double down on because you think it's so important? So Meredith, you're batting first again.
Yeah, so if you want to contact us, if you leave this webinar and think of a question that you wish you asked, you can email us. We are always checking that email, and we will get back to you with an informed answer to help you in any way we can. Like I mentioned earlier, I would recommend following us on social media. We're always posting announcements or reminders or anything that your student may need to know, and so it's a really great resource to kind of tune into. And some kind of lasting thoughts, I would recommend students just to have as much fun here. We've got so many cool events. We've got amazing sports teams. And here at Parking and Transportation, we want to help you make that experience as fun as possible. So if you and your friends want to, go to an event, you can all hop on the T-bus and go. So yeah, I would just, keep an open mind, go to as many things as you can, just so that you can get the full volunteer experience.
My turn. Okay. First thing, payment is due August 8th. So make sure that you have everything taken care of. I know you're going to be tired of hearing me say that. You're going to get a million emails about it if you're an authorized user, but it's just so important to set students up for success and have that part taken care of prior to classes starting. And this is a very busy time for my team, our financial aid office, our bursar team. I always say this is like our Super Bowl. It is the busiest time of the year for us. So we are here to support you and help you as you have questions and issues. You just may need a few minutes to wait on the phone. So if you do give us a call, just have a little patience with us. Know that we are getting to you as quickly as possible. And when you do get in touch with somebody, you're going to encounter a friendly voice who's ready and eager to help you. We also have a callback feature. So if you sit in the queue long enough on the phone, you can opt into a callback. It holds your place in the queue, and we do give you a call back in that same order. So that's a good option if you're trying to get other things done. Payments due on the 8th. We are excited for you guys to join us on Rocky Top in just a few short weeks. I'm rambling a little bit, but we're here to support you.
Okay, a few reminders about housing. Something that we didn't really mention today, I want to make sure that you're aware of, is our residence halls do close for winter break. All of our residence halls, except our apartment style halls, which are for second year and above students, Clement Hall and Stokely Hall will close. So only Clement and Stokely remain open for winter break. All the other residence halls will close. We'll be updating our important dates on our website soon, but typically that's about 24 hours after that last final in the fall semester. Residence halls will close, and we need you to wave goodbye to your residence hall room for all of winter break. And then halls typically open up a couple of days before classes start for the spring semester in January. Similarly, all the residence halls in that same group will close for spring break. So make sure you're checking your academic calendar, seeing when those breaks are, and planning your travel plans around that for us, please. Other things to remember as you're preparing for move-in, please make sure you go ahead and set up your vol card. And we just checked that status and that information yesterday, and we still had over 3,000 of you who had not set up your vol card yet. So please go ahead and work on that. That is your digital credential, your UTID on your phone that you will need to access your residence hall. Please work on getting that set up before you're in the car on the way to move in, because that could delay your check-in and your ability to access your room easily. In that same way, please make sure that you're completing all your immunization requirements as an on-campus student. That can be found, information can be found on your checklist on your MyUTK, but also on our UT Student Health Center website. Make sure all of that is set up, because that's another thing that would stop you from checking in successfully if that information wasn't submitted and cleared through that team in order for us to check you in on campus. But that's really it for me. And make sure, as I mentioned before, that you do have a move-in appointment. That's going to make moving go smoothly for everyone. And please arrive at your appointment time. Thank you.
Okay, last but not least, Vol Dining, the best way to get in touch with us is to email us at voldining@utk.edu. We do answer every day, so send us your questions. We'll get right back to you. You can also call us. The phone number is on the screen, and we will be happy to answer your questions that way too. We are working right now on 7 new locations, dining locations on campus. So it is an extremely exciting time to be at UT, to echo what Meredith said and everybody else. Get out, explore this big, beautiful campus that we have. Dine in the locations, take the tea, do all the things, meet your roommates, and just enjoy it. It's a great time to be on campus. If you have any questions, please let us know. One thing that we didn't touch on is that we do have a dietitian, and her name is Tatiana Kimball. She's absolutely wonderful. So if you have any dietary needs, she is here to answer your questions and take care of your needs. But we look forward to having you on Rocky Top, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Awesome, panelists. Thank you all so much for all of the great information that you have shared this evening. Thank you for the tips, the tricks, all the good things, all of great things for our families to know. Families, we appreciate you joining us and taking some time on your Thursday to be a part of this session. Our usual housekeeping announcements. We have a survey for you. We definitely want to get your feedback on that. That is helpful for us as we continue to improve the services we offer. If your student hasn't already, get that online orientation done. You're probably tired of hearing me say it. Your student's probably tired of the email. So if they're getting those, though, it means they still need to do it. So have them make sure they complete that online orientation. And then families, if you have not joined the Family Association, make sure that you do that. That gets you access to all sorts of different things. But the most important one, it gets you into a community of family members who also have students on Rocky Top. Free to join, easy to access. You can find the link there or on our family website. As the summer is coming to a close, it means that our family series are also coming to a close. So our last family series of the year will be the same place here on Zoom in 2 weeks. We'll be talking live on Rocky Top. We'll have a lot of great folks here to talk about the student experience, what that looks like, and opportunities that they will be able to engage in. And at that point in time, less than 2 weeks from the time they will be on campus. It's crazy to think about. So we hope we see you there. And we can't wait to see you during move-in and during this semester. As always, have a great Thursday. We are so glad that you're part of our volunteer family. Have a great rest of your night and go Vols.